What's up, YouTube? So, today's topic, I'm gonna talk about the reasons why I hate this human experience, the reasons why I can't stand this human experience, and the reasons why this world, not even this world, yeah, this world, but obviously most people in this world, and it's naturally this human experience is a fucking evil ass, corrupt, fucking sick, a horrible ass experience that no soul or spirit should reincarnate into, my opinion. So let's get to it. So obviously, this shit's stupid because like, as a human being, you're born into this world, right? And a lot of people, just the fact that within the human body, it's so easy for you to experience trauma. It's so easy for the human body to experience abuse. I mean, no, it's so easy for the human body to experience mental trauma, and the nervous system overstimulating. The average human feels pain. When people go through a lot of spiritual symptoms, they can't really explain it because the nervous system's acting up. Me, I experience this a lot where like I have like skipped rapid heartbeats for no reason and shit, right? For no apparent reason. And like it's a lot to explain. Like right now, my nervous system is good, and I never had a problem with like heart pains or anything like that, right? I never had. For some reason, my intuition's telling me not to make this video, but or like I'm getting the vibe of not to make this video, but I don't know why. But I'm gonna keep going. I'm just for some reason I'm feeling a lot of anger. We do have a moon in Scorpio, so like, but yeah, but recently I'm just kind of reflecting on life and stuff, and I realize just how shitty people are. You know, we have a lot of shitty people, and the reasons why we have a lot of shitty people is because we live in a shitty world. Everything's corrupted. Enslavement has been going on for thousands of fucking years. We always have wars and battles and shit, and like that's the reason why people act shitty. But I don't want to justify why people act shitty. I think people are just fucking lame, and people they're not shit. So that's why, because I noticed I'm not gonna go into detail, but like I'll be in certain situations as most people, right? Especially when it comes to the workplace, and certain people they don't like their workplace, right? So they'll project their miserable fucking feelings and how they're feeling. They'll project how miserable they feel towards other people, especially me, because I consider myself as a very like positive person, like not obviously not through YouTube because through YouTube I'm expressing myself, but like whenever I'm out in public or in a workplace, I don't talk how I do on YouTube. Like I'm very professional. I like to uplift people. I like to be positive, right? But there'll be a lot of times where like I'm on my own business, and like I'm just being positive and shit. And there's always like a group of people or like a specific person that always either talk shit to me or like they'll say some like foul shit, some verbal like I've been verbally abused a lot by a lot of people, especially at the workplace, even through family members, and like what happened whenever I'm minding my own business, when I'm just doing me, and this is where you get your spiritual. Well, at least I think it's spiritual warfare. Where like if you're following your purpose, if you're in the right headspace, and all of a sudden people are acting weird towards you, people start attacking you out of nowhere, and that's how you know it's spiritual warfare. Someone made a video on signs you're going through spiritual warfare. That's one of the signs, but this video is gonna be all over the place. But um, I was gonna say something I forgot. Okay, just the fact that in this human experience, people experience spiritual warfare. People experience a lot of violence, and even you have a baby born into a very dysfunctional, highly abusive family, right? And a lot of people experience domestic violence. A lot of people are born into dysfunctional families. A lot of people experience or like they have to cut off all their family members, right? Like people, a lot of people are experiencing generational curses, and they're trying to break generational curses. So me, I use my example. My whole family, they have a whole history of like mental health trauma, right? And me, I can't be around them, so I had to cut all them off because they've done a lot of foul shit. I've been in my households where like there's a lot of verbal abuse, physical abuse, and like they will not take accountability, and like at some point I get so fed up, right? So eventually I moved away from them, thank God, and I cut all of them off. I'm always being attacked by them, right? So I cut all of them off, and like that's a prime example of a generational curse. Is when like me like my path is to do a lot of healing work mentally and of course physically, and to create a lot of wealth for myself. Because I'm not gonna share my wealth to my family. Fuck them. But it's not wealth. I mean, yeah, it is that, but more so, is healing trauma, healing pain, and healing curses that your family bloodline has been experiencing from past generations and shit. Right? This where you get your generational curses from. So that's what I'm trying to do. But just the fact that, and a lot of people experience this shit, but it could be in different ways. Some people experience financial curses. I'm also experiencing financial curses. I'm trying to break that shit through my family bloodline, but like people like when it comes to generational curses, it comes in all forms. And I've learned this from other YouTubers, so I didn't make this up on my own, but I believe in this shit. So, but just the fact that as a baby, it's possible that you could be born into a very highly dysfunctional, abusive family, right? And that could damage that your life's pretty much fucked up if you're born into that, because you have no control over that. Because if you're born into a very retarded, dysfunctional family, they're gonna put all this trauma towards you, and you're not gonna realize you have all this trauma until the last minute. And now, once you realize you have trauma until the last minute, it's gonna take so long, or take so much time just to heal from that shit. It's a long ass process. And while you're doing it, you're attracting more dumbass people because you're not healed. And when you're not healed, you're energetically manifesting bullshit situations and bullshit people, right? So it's like it makes life unnecessarily harder. So not only are people experiencing generational curses, traumatic experiences, trauma, and pain, but we're also dealing with this corrupt system to where like a lot of people are forced to work at these jobs they don't want to be in, right? And I feel like, this is my opinion, I feel like, I don't know if God or the universe exists, but let's say they do, right? Or just life in general. Why does it seem like every human being has to go through some type of abuse, trauma, and pain and all this shit? I understand, so they can. It's something has to do with their fucking ego. Like you know how these spiritual communities talk, where like it's all about releasing your ego, so you could be more intimate with self, and that you could evolve, because supposedly according to the human experience, you can't really evolve or grow if you experience pain. The average person who experiences a lot of pain and bullshit, they tend to experience a lot of blissful situations in the near future sometimes. So basically, the more bullshit and pain the average human being has to go through experience, and they're able to overcome it, and then they become more stronger, and they're able to become a more powerful spirit, and they're able to manifest all the things they want out of life, which will make them happy, right? Not only that, but like when you experience pain and traumatic experiences, you gain more wisdom, you gain more knowledge, and you can help other people out that are also experiencing those things, right? And I've learned this from other people, but and I can confirm my own experiences. Really, I've learned some lessons. I mean, I honestly, I want to get into it, but like I guess I've learned some things through pain and trauma. It's not necessarily that. It's more so like I became a stronger person by experiencing a lot of traumatic shit from my family and from other people in general that I'm still facing today. But just the fact that it didn't turn me to like a bitter, hard, mean person, like how these people are. And that's something I could be proud of myself. Just the fact that I don't let shit like this kind of change me. I mean, it still has an effect on me. I'm still pissed. This is why I'm making a video of how pissed I am. But just the fact that I'm able to overcome these situations, or I'm currently trying to overcome these situations, and I'm still not in. I'm still in the right headspace, and like I'm not letting these emotions deter my life, like going to prison or jail or some shit like that. Just the fact that I'm still here, trying to do my own thing. I'm trying to complete my goals, trying to follow my dreams, and that's something to be proud of. But this video, I'm more so talking about like, why is it that like the average human being, why is it that like we all got to go through trauma and pain and bullshit? it's annoying. You know what I'm saying? And I understand too. It could be our ego that doesn't want to experience this. It's our ego saying, "Oh, this is bullshit." But maybe from a spiritual perspective, maybe our spirits want to experience this shit. Our souls and spirits wants us to experience going through fucked up shit, right? So we can grow and evolve and doing shit we don't want to do, like working a bullshit 9 to 5 job, since clearly this in this realm all this world corruption has been going on for fucking thousands of years, right? And nothing has changed, right? This is why we always have wars and battles all over the fucking country, and inflation and all this money corruption and shit like that. All this violence and shit. These third world countries, all this poison, these chemtrails with all these foods. You can't even fucking travel without money. Everything's controlled by money. So clearly, in this timeline, our spirits or our souls want us to experience enslavement, pretty much. Getting used to shit we don't want to do, but we're forced to do shit like that, right? And when it comes to karma, I personally believe in karma, but it gets annoying where, like, when people do you wrong and you can't see them get their karma. I've experienced that a lot where, like, people who do me extremely wrong, I can't see them get their karma, and that shit pissed me off, man. Like, there are times where I was stuck, I had sleepless nights and shit because I had family members and other people who would do me extremely wrong, and I never received my justice, or at least I never witnessed me getting my justice and shit, and I never see them get their karma. So now I'm forced with all this pain, and what makes it worse is that, like, when people do me wrong, it's so unexpected too. So, like, there'll be times where, like, I'm minding my own business, I'm trying to remain positive and happy and shit. Then bam, out of nowhere, someone will, like, badmouth me, or, like, they'll do some bullshit where, like, it causes me a lot of great pain and anger. I'm just like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then it makes it worse because then I can't see them get their karma. So I'm like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? I be experiencing this shit at the most random times. And again, I personally believe it's spiritual warfare, and it could be lower vibrational entities inhabiting people's bodies, because most people are fucking low vibrational and retarded, so it's easy for entities to control them, and they can use these vessels to harm other people, you know what I'm saying? But in other cases, people are just dumb, so, like, they like to project their pain onto other people, and there's nothing wrong with, like, expressing your anger or pain, but just be mindful of who you do it to. So, for example, you can make YouTube videos and you can express your pain and anger kind of like how I'm doing, and obviously you could do it through therapy, through like a psychologist, or you could release it through working out, through yelling, crying, screaming, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, they're so dumb, and they're also unaware that, like, they'll project their pain and anger towards innocent people, or people they think that's cool, like towards, like, people pleasers, but then they get shocked and surprised when these same people they project their bullshit to, these same people who are like victims, then they explode on them, then they talk back to them, and then they'll talk shit back to them, and then these people will get all surprised and shit. And some people, and I made a video on projection, on why people project. I have a lot of views on that. Like, I know why people project their pain. I know why people do shit like that. Some people are aware of what they're doing, but you also have other people who aren't aware of what they're doing. Usually the people who are aware of what they're doing, I've noticed sometimes they'll do it in a slick way to where, like, even though they are projecting their pain, they're doing it in a way where, like, they're trying to make a joke out of it, or, like, they'll throw some shade while having conversations with you, or, like, they'll low-key talk down on you without even you realizing it until the last minute, and they'll act passive-aggressive. Some people do it, like, purposely, and some people do it without them even knowing or realizing it. And I think the word for it is, like, people unconsciously do it or subconsciously do it without even realizing it, right? Even when people have hidden jealousy and bad intentions with you, like, they like, or like, their insecurities, their projection, they'll just randomly project that shit towards you without them even realizing it sometimes, you know? So that's why it's always important to be careful when dealing with people. Like, I'm learning this a lot as I'm getting older, because a lot of people, they're not shit, and, like, a lot of people like to cope A lot of people aren't following their purpose. A lot of people aren't interested in bettering their lives. A lot of people like to stay stagnant, and a lot of people don't have the strength to overcome what they're going through, right? So a lot of people, they'll project their pain onto you, and this is why it's important. And it's all over. And this is why when you hear stories of people who are very successful, or like people who are trying to do right, or they have a strong purpose, or like they love what they're doing, but one of their biggest issues is being around the wrong types of people. Like they always complain about snakes or like two-faced people, and like they seem to have a lot of wisdom when it comes to like fake people, or when it comes to like people who are like hidden enemies and shit, or like they have a lot of wisdom and knowledge and experiences with that, because like I said before, a lot of people are in pain. A lot of people don't have the awareness to change, and they don't want to change. They want to stay stagnant. This is why you have a lot of average people and shit, right? There's one of, not the main reasons, but one of the reasons why this world's so fucked up. Based on my conclusion on what I've learned from other people and from other YouTubers as well, right? So I don't know where I'm getting at. I'm speaking my mind. I'm just releasing my intrusive thoughts. But this human experience, I mean, it's weird. So like me, I've experienced a lot of spiritual encounters, right? I don't, for some reason, I don't feel comfortable saying on YouTube, but I'm gonna say anyways. So me, I've experienced a lot of spiritual connections, right? A lot of soul ties. I mean, which I believe soul ties, but and there are times where like I'll feel like there'll be random times where like my nervous system would overstimulate, and I'll have all these spiritual experiences where like I'll experience rapid heartbeats, or like I feel random sexual energy out of nowhere, and like I experience some like massive headaches out of nowhere, and my body will feel so overwhelmed, and my nervous system will feel overstimulated at random times. Not all the time, but like probably like once every month or some shit, or 2 times every fucking month, right? I mean, I've made videos where I talked about it, but why is it now like my nervous system at the current moment, and for the past couple weeks and days, it's been feeling extremely relaxed. Like my heartbeat is normal, my nervous system feels regulated. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, this is where I'm getting at. We don't have free will, it seems, because like I feel like our spirit, or our higher selves, kind of controls our nervous system in a way. It controls our body. This is why we have urges and addictions. Every human being has an addiction. Every human being has a lot of addictions. Everyone has that. It's part of this human experience. But we really don't have free will like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm using my life experience, like me, like since my family, they're so dysfunctional, so abusive, right? And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but what I am saying is my family, they were so dysfunctional, right? So I had to get away from them, and I had no choice but to join the military. But the reason why I had to join the military, because I had no choice to get away from my family. I had no car. I had a job, but like my job wasn't paying enough, and I think I had to leave my job because I was dealing with narcissistic people, and over the years I experienced reaction abuse, to where like I was forced to defend myself, and that resulted in me being being suspended from my workplace for like a year. I mean, not from my workplace, but from the mall, because my bosses, they still wanted me to work for them, but the mall, like the whole mall security and rules, they banned me for at least 1 year. So like at the time I was pretty much jobless and shit. And it was crazy too. So like I don't see, like it's a lot to explain, but like I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Like looking back, like I've experienced a lot of spiritual warfare, and I don't mean this in an egotistical way, or maybe I'm wrong, but like, or maybe I'm speaking from like new age spiritual facts, but I personally believe it is spiritual warfare, because it makes sense, because like I said, it's a lot to explain, but like And on my past videos, I explain shit like this, where like I've experienced my situation at the workplace, where like I've experienced a narcissistic boss, or like I've also experienced narcissistic people, narcissistic families, and shit like that, right? It's spiritual warfare, man. Um, if you're also experiencing the same things I'm experiencing, I recommend watching or subscribing to this channel called New Mind Frame. And there's other YouTubers as well, like you have Chauncey one. He's really good. I've learned a lot of my information from him. Like Chauncey one's videos, he his videos makes me sane in this world, because like there's so much weird shit that's going on in this world, man. But if you're experiencing a lot of narcissistic people or like narcissistic abuse, like for at random fucking times, check out New Mind Frame. NUMINDFRAME, right? She talks about spiritual warfare. She dissects spiritual warfare. Like she knows why spiritual warfare happens. She made a lot of videos about spiritual warfare. She's also a tarot reader, so she has 2 YouTube channels and she's the only tarot reader I trust. I don't trust tarot readers like that, because in my opinion, a lot of tarot readers, they only speak shit from their own knowledge, and they project their beliefs onto people, and they're programmed, and they speak about stupid shit that just, and they manipulate people for profit. That's how I view most tarot readers, but there are good and legit tarot readers who actually know what they're talking about and who actually provide good service, and they're genuine. So, New Mind Frame, I personally book readings. I book personal tarot readings from her, and she's really good, and she's very accurate, and I trust her. And it's like my intuition, my soul, my spirit trusts her, you know. And shout out to her, you know. But so if you are interested in tarot, or if you want a tarot reading, come check out her channel. Her tarot store is not available at the moment, but she does keep her subscribers updated to when her tarot reading store will be opened back up, and then she could shoot personal readings, right? But anyways, she has 2 channels. New Mind Frame, that's her psychology channel, and she has New Mind Frame Tarot, and that's her tarot channel. NUMINDFRAME. She talks about like spiritual warfare, why people project, why people she talked about the spiritual side of why narcissistic people are the way they are. Narcissism and shit like that. And if you guys watching this, I know you guys experience spiritual warfare as well, where like you guys are minding your own business, you guys are just trying to do your own thing, right? And then out of nowhere, you have people attacking you, or you have situations not going in your favor for some reason, especially like at the workplace, where like you're dealing with like workplace bullying, or it can manifest through like your family members bullying you, or like random people just bullying you, just projecting, talking shit to you at the most random times, right? Like me, like I'm not gonna explain it now, but like I've experienced so much situations where like it's wild. Like I've experienced heavy spiritual attack from people, man. And I don't want to sound new age. I don't want to sound delusional, because I'm aware it's part of life. And I'm not saying I'm an angel, I'm perfect. I'm not saying that at all, because I've done some dirt. And usually with fights and arguments and conflicts, it takes 2 people, right? So I'm not saying, oh, I'm a victim and shit like that. No, but what I can say is that like I have experience where like people will switch up on me. I have experience where people betrayed me out of nowhere. Even with family members, they'll lie on my name, they'll switch up on me, and just all this crazy shit. When I take accountability, even when I'm on my own business, and like it's insane. I've been ganged up by them, you know what I'm saying? But I've experienced like I've dealt with a police officer, or like a deputy sheriff, or like he was being very disrespectful. He was interrupting me, and like even though I was the one that called the cops to defend me from my family members after they kicked me out, and like they're trying to like start some shit and fight me and shit. That same police officer, he's being disrespectful with me. So while I was trying to explain to him what was going on, he was interrupting me, like he was saying some smart remarks, and like his body language was so aggressive and shit. So like, and I could read body language, but honestly, I don't know, man. It's just it's crazy, man. Like me, not like I'm fine. I'm just kind of like I don't know the right word for me. I'm like shocked, but I'm more so disappointed. Just like I'm just reflecting on my past life experiences with people, like right now, and like just it's just insane the amount of like spiritual warfare, or just shitty people that I had to come across with, you know. But this is what happens when you experience generational curses. It's a generational curse, or like this is what happens when you're trying to do the right thing, or when you're trying to follow the right path in life, and if you also experience a lot of trauma growing up, that's out of your control. All like shit like this is gonna happen, you know. So I'm not sure if it's like karma. I wouldn't say karma because I'm not just saying it. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to mind my own business. I'm trying to like me, and I'm the type of person where I do consider myself as a workaholic. So like I love being busy. I love being occupied. I love setting goals. I love working out, and I love staying to myself. I don't usually seek attention from dumbass people. You know what I'm saying? I just like keeping it to myself. But like there are times where I'll just be attacked out of nowhere. So it's how it is, and a lot of people experience this. Some people call it gang stalking. Some people call it spiritual warfare. Some people call it spiritually attacked. Some people call it generational curses. Whatever the term is, we can all agree that like when you're trying to do right in life, it just seems like no matter what, life will always find a way to throw some bullshit at every single person. This is why when you observe every single person's life, they all always mention or say that they always have to experience some type of traumatic events or multiple traumatic events or some type of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in this human experience, I feel like it is part of the human experience to experience trauma, pain, betrayal, rejection, and just horrible shit. You know, my opinion, and I've learned this from other people, just so their souls could evolve, so the spirits could evolve, so they could gain wisdom and knowledge. But more so, more so for experience purposes. I'm kind of iffy about so they could gain wisdom and knowledge, because how I look at it is this: we have there's we have an afterlife, we have different realms. So why the fuck do we got to gain knowledge over experiencing dumbass shit with by being in the shitty realm in the human body? You can learn these same experiences in afterlife, but without going through the bullshit in the human body. So I feel like people just experience this shit just so they could experience it, since it's part of the human experience, right? So their souls and spirits could just experience this shit. And even someone mentioned like the spirit, the soul, it wants experiences, it craves experiences, so it makes sense. But I don't know, man. If you're watching this, you don't have to agree what I believe or think, but because with me, it's just like, one, I'm speaking my mind, but two, usually like I'll watch a lot of spiritual videos and I'll compare them to my own life experiences, because all the spiritual videos and channels I watch, it correlates to what the fuck I'm experiencing. This is why I'm subscribed to these spiritual channels in the first place, because these guys experience the type of shit what I'm going through, right? And I watch a lot of these channels that I'm subscribed to, right? And then what I'll do is that I'll come up to my own conclusion on why things are the way they are and why things take place on how it is, right? And then I'll make a YouTube video and then I'll say it. So I don't share my whole mind, but like, because there are certain things I like to keep secret. But that's what I do. Like I'll observe all these spiritual channels, then I'll observe my life experiences. I'll compare them, and then I'll come up to my own conclusion. You know, but it's just crazy the amount of spiritual words. Just looking back, just even talking about this, like I've been through a lot of crazy shit with people, man, where people will act very strange, like out of nowhere. You know, when it comes to police officers, family members, random people, I cut off a lot of people, man. This shit's not easy, but I've gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge, so I feel like it's easy. It's easier for me to like. It's easier for me to understand people and why they act the way they do, and why they are the way they are. And I think I've also gained a lot of experiences on how to read people, but more so how to use my discernment and what people are capable of doing. You, you know what I'm saying? Um, but and again, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I still have things I need to work on. You know what I'm saying? Like there are times where like I've done things I regretted, and I've made poor decisions. But I'm trying to better myself. You know, and that's all that matters. But it's just crazy how like when you're trying to do the right thing, life will always find a way to like kind of throw you off track. Again, some people call it spiritual warfare. I personally believe it's spiritual warfare. Some people think it's just part of this human experience. Some people think it's just life doing it or the devil trying to attack you. Regardless, we can all agree that like no matter what, life is gonna find a way to kind of break you down. Like it's funny. So like you could be put in a bad situation, right? You can be put in rock bottom, and life will still throw you, or try to break you. But yet you could also be headed to the right direction and doing the right things, not causing harm to anyone, just mind your own business. But life will still find a way to kind of break you down, and we can all agree with that because we all experience that, right? And I'll be thinking to myself like, damn, why is that? Like, I'm not trying to cause any harm to people. I'm on my own business, but there's always some type of bullshit with like either people or life situations that's trying to break me down. And I understand this. This is why it's always important to like take life seriously, but don't take it personally. Like, don't take it personally to the point where like when people are acting dumb towards you or like they're disrespecting you or causing harm towards you, don't take it personal because people they're projecting it and it's spiritual warfare and it's just life testing you pretty much. Just view life as a fucking test. You know what I'm saying? But take life seriously to the point where like you want to follow your purpose. You want to get things you need to get done completed. You got to follow your passions. You got to do what you love. Just do what makes you become great and be in alignment. Do the best you can. Live life the best you can and do the best you can. You know, ask for help. Network, connect. You obviously use your discernment with people because people are dumb these days. And just follow your passions, you know, follow your purpose, you know. Take all that shit seriously, but don't. At the same time, don't take life personally. So if people are acting dumb towards you, if life is just seems so weird, like people are just attacking you for no reason, or like if you're dealing with like real corruption, where like you feel like you're not getting paid enough, like you can't make certain moves, or you can't make certain things happen for yourself because of real corruption, don't take it personally. This is part of this human experience, and it's temporary too. So like the human experience is very temporary. So the average human being lives like 60 to 100 years old. That's very temporary. So like, if you're just fed up with life, if you're just so angry, don't even trip about it. Cause like, eventually, all the bullshit you're experiencing, you don't have to experience this shit for a long ass time. Cause the human experience is very temporary. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, well, I believe there are afterlives. I do believe there are different realms. So like, we don't have to experience this bullshit as a realm if we don't want to after we pass away. Hopefully, we have options. So just try to do the right thing. Try to like not create any bad or a negative karma to where like it will force you to like reincarnate into a human being again, and then you gotta experience being in this realm again. No, I'm sure no one wants that. So like, I'm not saying be paranoid, but like try to just follow your heart, follow your purpose, do the right thing, and if you do that, you're naturally going to stay out of trouble. You're naturally not going to cause harm onto people's lives, and when you do that, that means you're not creating as much negative karma versus the average person who's too lazy to change, and for some reason they just want to cause harm and chaos towards other people's lives, right? And if that's the case, then these people are creating a lot of negative karma for themselves, and maybe it's gonna force them to come back down here over and over again after they pass away. This is where you get your reincarnation or like your generational curse cycle. It just continues to happen over and over again. But think that's all I gotta say. It's just crazy how how corrupt and restricted this world is, and like as a human being, we have a lot of innocent people. Where like a lot of innocent people and babies are born into highly abusive, highly dysfunctional families, and these same family members aren't teaching these kids how to do the right thing. They're not teaching kids how to function well with life or how to prepare well with life. I, I know family members who don't teach their kids how to drive a car, who don't know, who does not teach them how to set themselves set themselves up financially, how to use their finances, the importance of credit, the importance of like building skills and following your passion, and the importance of like taking care of yourself, the importance of being disciplined, the importance of like taking care of your mental health and physical health, like loving yourself and self-soothing yourself, but most families don't teach shit like that, because especially from like dysfunctional and toxic families, and it sucks how like as an innocent baby or soul, they're put into these families, and now they got to deal with the burdens of like healing all their families trauma and all this bullshit, right? But that's all I gotta say, man. But it's just crazy how like in life, if you're doing the right thing, or if you feel like a lot of people are attacking you, just know that more than likely it's spiritual warfare. And if that's the case, you're doing the right thing. Check out New Mind Frame. She talks about on her videos about spiritual warfare. I highly recommend checking out her channel, NUMINDFRAME. She talks about spiritual warfare. She talks about narcissism, why people do the things they do. I highly recommend checking out her channel, because her channel was able to help me out on why people do the shit they do. You know what I'm saying? And just know that you're not alone. If you feel like life is just bullshit, or like life is just weird or strange, or like life is just like not fair, or like if you just feel like the people around you are just so like inconsiderate, or like they're just so like unstable, or like if you seem like everyone just seems so emotionally unintelligent, or like not as aware, or like they seem like mentally ill, just know that you're not alone. Like you're not alone. You're not going crazy. It's not you. It's the people around you that's making you feel crazy. You're not the problem. It's the people around you that's a problem. Especially if they're attacking you, just ignore it. Defend yourself if you have to, but just know that it's spiritual warfare, and just know that it means you're heading to the right direction. Usually when people are heading to the right directions, they tend to get attacked a lot. It could be through people. It could be in spiritual, and through mental health as well too. So like you could be heading to the right direction, and out of nowhere, you're gonna have self-doubts about yourself. You're gonna have anxiety. You're gonna feel depressive. It's just shit like that. Try to just know that don't let these things control you. Try to do the healing work as much as you can. Always heal yourself. Please heal yourself, because you don't want to end up like the same people who try to harm you and other people. You don't want to end up like them, because we have a lot of people who are like that in this world. So it's always important to do the healing work, because the more you do the healing work, the more aware you're going to become for yourself, and then you're able to attract a lot of things you want out of life, and it's going to be easier for you to follow your purpose the more you're healing yourself. And I've learned these from a lot of people. I've learned these from a lot of YouTubers, so make sure you head to the right direction, and there is help out there, don't be afraid to seek out help. You have people who care about you, don't lose them, don't take them for granted. But just know that like if you feel like people are just attacking you, it's spiritual warfare, and it's a good sign that like you're heading to the right direction, because that means you're so great and you're meant for great things, that life is willing to throw damaged people who wants to cause harm towards you. So that's how you gotta look at it, and these are facts. But have a good one, and just know that you're not alone, and always follow your heart, do what you love, and if you can, try to make this world a better place, and try to treat people how you want to be treated, and just know that you're meant for great things. And like if you ever feel like that self-doubt, or if you feel like you're going through this alone, just know that you're not alone, and just know that you're meant for great things. If you can feel it in your heart, or if it comes across your thought, it can be anything you want out of life. You are capable of achieving it, and I believe in you, and always believe in yourself. And like I said, you're still alive, so like you still have a purpose, and you're meant for great things, and have a good one. Peace.